We've all been there. You just got your paycheck and you're ready to spend it on something shiny and new. But wait, before you splurge on that new phone or pair of shoes, take a step back and think about where you want to be financially. We all want to become financially secure, but how do we get there? Here are 9 great ways to avoid instant gratification and achieve financial freedom. With these tips, you can start planning for a future that includes more than just short-term satisfaction. Tip number 1. Put away the credit cards. Credit cards clearly have their uses, and can be very helpful in certain situations by giving you access to money when you're in dire straits. But they can also be kryptonite when it comes to sticking to your budget, and it's easy to get into debt by using them. Instead, use cash or debit cards to pay for your purchases. This will help you to develop a better sense of financial responsibility and stick to your budget, since the money leaves your wallet or your account right away. Additionally, it will help you become more mindful with your spending habits. You'll learn to appreciate the things you've purchased, and you'll be able to make better decisions about when to splurge and when to save. So leave the pretty plastic in the drawer whenever you go out. Tip number 2. Set short-term and long-term goals. Setting goals gives you something to aim for, which can help you avoid unplanned buys. And you'll probably be more inclined to put away money for a specific purpose, rather than just save for the sake of saving. A short-term goal could be to save up for a specific purchase in 1 month, such as a new accessory or a new coat. Meanwhile, a long-term goal could be to save up enough money to cover the cost of a down payment on a house. Both of these goals require discipline and patience to achieve, and will act as a deterrent to spending money on impulse. Additionally, it's important to be realistic when setting goals, so that you can actually accomplish them, and not become overwhelmed or frustrated. Having clear goals will give you the motivation to delay gratification and stick to your budget, while still allowing you to enjoy life. Tip number 3. Reward yourself for staying the course. While it's great to be disciplined and fiscally responsible, you shouldn't make it feel like a punishment to save and budget. We talked about setting savings goals earlier in tip number 2, but on the flip side, you should reward yourself for accomplishing these tasks. This is a great way to stay motivated and on track with your spending. Not only will it give you something to look forward to, but it will also help you to remember why you were being so disciplined in the first place. Additionally, rewarding yourself can give you a sense of accomplishment and pride in reaching your financial goals. With this in mind, it's important to set realistic rewards that fit within your budget, so you can continue to work towards financial freedom without sacrificing your hard-earned money. This could be things like a gadget, or a fancy night out, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Tip number 4. Plan your purchases ahead of time. When it comes to avoiding giving in to temptation, planning your purchases in advance is key. Start by making a list of things you need, and prioritize them. Then determine how much money you can spend on each item, and create a budget for yourself. This can be something as simple as making a grocery list before going to the supermarket, and then sticking to it. There's a whole field of study that talks about how supermarkets have their goods organized specifically to tempt shoppers into impulse purchases, so doing up a list is really important. It's also a good idea to avoid unplanned grocery trips to buy things like snacks and drinks, which can add up. It's also important to take the time to do research and compare prices at different stores or online, to make sure you're getting the best deal. Planning things out also becomes even more important for bigger purchases, like devices or expensive pieces of clothing. Researching these online ahead of time will ensure that you get exactly what you want, while also helping you avoid paying over the odds. Tip number 5. Make your savings hands-free. Setting up auto transfers from your salary account, either to your savings account or towards paying off your debt faster, means that you won't be tempted to spend that money instead. Automated monthly transfers for savings are a great way to avoid emotional spending, or buying things when you feel stressed or vulnerable, as once you set up the plan and make it a habit, you won't have to think about it. It may sound harsh, but the less money there is in your account for discretionary spending, the lower the likelihood of blowing your cash on things you don't need. This can be especially useful if you're relatively new to budgeting and need a little help in setting up barriers to impulse spending. Additionally, automated savings plans can help you set aside money for larger purchases, or emergency or rainy day funds. Tip number 6. Join a community for support. Joining an online community for support can be a great way to keep yourself on the right path. In the community, you'll have access to tools and resources to help you learn more about budgeting and delaying gratification. You'll also be able to connect with other people who are in similar situations and can offer advice and support. It's often very useful when you see real-life examples of how other people have avoided spending pitfalls and have managed to control their own impulse spending. Additionally, you'll find accountability partners who will help you stay focused and motivated. Sometimes, we all need a little bit of guilt shaming to stay on track. With the right community, you'll have the motivation and guidance you need to make smart choices and stick to your budget. Tip number 7. Become a busy bee. When boredom sets in, it's human nature to sometimes turn to spend and buy things as a cure. But instead of spending money on things you don't need, keeping busy helps you focus on activities that bring you joy and helps you stay within your means. This could include hobbies such as reading, writing, exercising, or playing a musical instrument. Try to make sure you find activities that fit within your budget and don't become an additional expense. You can also take up volunteering, pursue an educational goal, or even start a side hustle. This will help keep your mind off spending and direct your energy towards something meaningful. Additionally, you can plan fun activities with friends or family that are free or low cost, such as going for a walk in the park or cooking a meal together. There are also many free online courses or activities you can do that don't require any money. Tip number 8. Treat yourself, but stick to the budget. Everybody loves a little treat now and then, so why not incorporate that into your budget? Set aside a small amount of money each month for a fun fund that you can spend on whatever you want. This helps eliminate the need to ask yourself whether or not an item is worth the price, or cross-shop it with other items that you really need. If it fits in your fun fund, go for it. This also helps curb impulse buys, because now you have a designated fun money wallet, where you put all your spare change. Instead of stressing too much by thinking of every dollar as an all-or-nothing proposition, you can enjoy some of the benefits of spending while still keeping costs in check. Tip number 9. Be willing to make sacrifices. If you're truly committed to getting out of debt or saving for an emergency fund or retirement, you have to accept that some sacrifices will have to be made. This may mean giving up on frequent restaurant meals, canceling or downsizing on cable or internet until you've paid off some debt, or putting money into an emergency fund, even if that means having less fun money to spend. The rewards of being disciplined and clever about money, such as financial freedom, far outweigh the short-term comfort of keeping the same old spending habits. Small sacrifices today can and will lead to better tomorrows. Check out these videos next on how to set up a budget and make the most of them.